Hello, my name is Mooncat, and in this video I'm gonna go over all you need to know about the new great building, the Flying Island. I'll tell you what it does, what you get from it, and most importantly, is it worth building? And for me, there's only one reason why you should build this, but I'll get back to that in a little bit after talking about how this building works. So, the way it works is that in your settlement, so you need to have a settlement opened. You do not need to have it, you do not need to play it actively, but you do need to have it opened. So every 4 hours in your settlement, you have a chance of a shard spawning. And this chance will depend on the level of the building. This shard that spawns can be one of 3 types of shards. It can be uncommon, it can be common, or it can be rare. So here we see the same system as the Temple of Relics. So essentially this building is a Temple of Relics for your settlement. Now, because you can get a shard every 4 hours, you have 42 chances of getting a shard every week. That is less than what you can from the Temple of Relics, where we can get up to 64 chances per week. Now, in return for that, the chance of getting a shard is slightly higher, but overall you will get slightly less shards than you will relics from the Temple of Relics. So that is something you need to keep in mind, but I'll get into data in a little bit. So, what can you get from these 3 different rewards? Well, from the common, you can get 20 forge points, you can get 25 random goods of your current era, you can get 25 random goods of the previous era, which is interesting, but then it becomes less interesting. You can get 1 or 10 units. Again, not sure why they would add 1 here, but they had, so 1 or 10 units. You can get 2 blueprints, which is okay, but then you can get coins or you can get supplies. Who don't need more coins and supplies from the rewards? Who wouldn't rather have some supplies than some forge points? But anyways, I'm getting my opinion in here before. Right now I just want to tell you what this gives. So, the uncommon shard, it can give you 100 forge points, it can give you 200 random goods of the current era, 100 goods of the previous era. Not quite sure why that would be worth less than the current era, but okay. You can get 10 rogues, and you can get the 8-hour mass coin rush, 6-hour mass supply rush, or the mass self-aid kit. So these can be quite nice. The coin rush, not really interesting, but the supply rush can be quite good for events. And the self-aid kit can be quite nice as well, if you don't have enough friends to to motivate all of your buildings. Then we come to the rare. And again, if I might be allowed to share my opinion now, this gives some really terrible rewards. So it can give you 5 blueprints, the rare one. It can give you medals. Who don't want more medals? And then it can give you 3 actually quite nice rewards in the 1-up kit, renovation kit, and the store building kit. They are quite nice. And then it can give a mysterious shard. Now this mysterious shard, this will change depending on which settlement you are in. So if you are in the Viking or Japanese settlement, you will receive 300 goods of your current age. But if you are in the Egyptian or Aztec settlements, you will get 150 forge points instead. So either 300 goods or 150 forge points. So now with the overview over, let me go over to a tab in my spreadsheet, my Space Age Venus spreadsheet. Let me zoom in a little bit. So here again, I've compiled all of this information again. And here as well, I have some example levels, so that you can see what it will give at certain levels. Now these are based on a forum post here, which you can go and see. I don't have data for all the levels at the moment, but I do have for these. So from these you can expect to get between 1 and 2.5 shards per day. And here you can see how many common, uncommon, and rare. I won't go over all of this, but then here we go. How many forge points can you get per day? How many goods, units, and so on. So when it comes to forge points, here you can see at level 1, it will give you around 6 forge points per day on average, which at level 1 is okay. It's nothing special, but still quite nice because you don't spend a lot on the building to get it to level 1. But here, at level 76, it's only doubled. You only get 2 times the number of forge points, so it jumps from 6 to 14 forge points. Now this is assuming you are in the Viking or Japanese settlement. If you are in Egypt or Aztecs, then it does increase quite nicely up to 25, but even that, 4x6 building at level 76, 25 forge points, that's not a lot. Now if we compare that to the Temple of Relics, again here we see it's if you are in the Viking or Japanese settlement, the Temple of Relics will produce more forge points per day. But if you are in the Egypt or Aztec settlements, which I'm assuming most people are these days, then you will produce more forge points from the flying island. So that's nice. So then we come to goods. Here you see that we, if you play the Egypt or Aztec settlement, which you probably are, you will produce 17.5 goods per day on average at level 1. So again, this is not too bad at level 1. And then again, if you get it all the way up to 76, you'll be producing 40 forge points in these settlements, or 60 forge goods, if you are in these settlements. Now, compared to the Temple of Relics, both of these are better. So when it comes to goods, the flying island is better than the Temple of Relics. And then we come to units, and here you don't really produce a lot of units. You produce between 1 and 2 units per day, and here you can see that for all of those levels you don't increase the amount of units, you get a lot. And again, compared to the Temple of Relics, you get slightly more units from the flying island. So again, quite nice. And now when it comes to rogues, again, not a lot, between half and 1 rogue per day, nothing to talk about. Here is slightly less than what you get from the Temple of Relics. But here comes the big downside with the flying island, because so far the flying island is probably a little bit better, although not really if you consider the leveling costs, but if you just think about the rewards, the flying island is slightly better when it comes to those. But then we come to the main selling point of the Temple of Relics. It produces buildings which you can sell to the antiques dealer. So here is the major difference. So from the flying island, you can get these kits here, and here is the chance per week of getting these kits. But when it comes to the Temple of Relics, what you get instead of these kits is antique dealer coins from buildings. So if you sell all buildings, even at level 1, you're getting 2.5, 3,000 antique dealer coins per week. Compare that to 1 of these kits per week. I definitely know which I would like. But then when you come to a high level, so level 76 for example, here you can see that you get almost 18,000 antique dealer coins per week, or you can get two kits, 2 of these kits. I don't know, there's no competition here. The Temple of Relics is simply much better. And then finally we have the kits here, the rare kits, the 1-up, reno, and store building. These are the same, but as you can see, you get slightly more from the Temple of Relics. So at level 1, don't expect to get any of these once in a blue moon. But at level 76, for example, here you get each of these roughly every other week. So 3 per 2 weeks, 1 of each per 3 weeks. And then when it comes to the Temple of Relics, you can see slightly more, 2 per week. So yeah, 1.5 per week, 2 per week. So slightly more here from Temple of Relics, but not too big of a difference there. So that's a quick comparison, and to me, as I said, it's much worse than the Temple of Relics because of the difference here in the rewards. You simply get so much you can sell to the antique dealer from the Temple of Relics, and with the Flying Island, all of those things are removed without compensating a lot. There's no compensation in my opinion. You get slightly more rewards, but even that, basically no difference. But for that, you lose all of those buildings you sell to the antiques dealer. So that brings me on to the big question. Is this building worth building? And for me, there is only one reason to build this, and that is for the looks. If you really like the looks of this thing, if you really want it in your city, animated, it looks gorgeous. So if you want that in your city, then you should build it. If you want rewards, go for other buildings. This is not a good building for rewards. Again, with the Temple of Relics, as I went over in a previous video, it can actually be really good to place it and leave it at a very low level, even level 1, because it does produce quite good rewards. And this is the same for the Flying Island, so it can actually be a nice resource production building early on, at an early level, sorry. But the main downside, the main difference between the Temple of Relics and this is the cost. Because for this you need 900 of each space age Venus good. Which, I don't know, if you are in an age where these resources here matter, you probably don't have the resources to buy this from a space age player. So to me, there's only really one true reason to get this building, and that is for the looks. That is because you want this great looking building in your city. So that's what I'll do. I'll get it, leave it at a low level, but I don't think I will level it high. I might, I do have the forge points, but yeah, I don't know. Doubt I'll get that, the number of blueprints I need. And finally, just quickly before I end, another big downside with this building is the cost. Now, I don't know the exact cost, but here I estimated the forge point cost, the 1.9 cost. And there you can see, to get it to level 76, level 80 or something, you need to spend 50,000 forge points. And at level 8 or 76, you will be producing probably 25 forge points per day. So that is 50,000 divided by 25, that is 2,000 days return on investment. That is 5.5 years return on investment. So I don't know, it's not worth it for the resources. The only reason why I would level it high is for these rewards here. But again, I don't know, I don't think it's worth it at all to level it high. So I would get it if you like the look of it, and I would leave it at a low level. So I will link all of these links in the description if you want to look through them. Here I have a spreadsheet going more into detail about the Temple of Relics if you want to have a look at that. So here you can see for different levels. You can select here. To do that, you file, make a copy, and then you can see here what you get from each levels. I probably won't make something like this for the Flying Island, at least not yet, because we don't have all the data. But yeah, here you can see what you will get and so on from the Temple of Relics. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope this was helpful, hope this gave you an idea of this building and whether you should build it. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the future.